As we mentioned here, the rise in COVID is still crushing staffing in most industries, and it's especially tough for healthcare workers who are needed now more than ever, but are also the most at risk of being exposed. WCNC Charlotte's Chloe Leshner is at Novant Health in Elizabeth with a firsthand account of that from an emergency department nurse.
Novant Health's emergency department is being slammed with COVID patients right now. The nurse manager himself just got over a battle with COVID, and he says once the Omicron surge started, he figured it was just a matter of time. Julian Carranza has been on the front lines of the pandemic in Novant Health's emergency department for the past 2 years. Despite being surrounded by COVID, he made it through the Alpha and Delta surges without getting sick.
I was very proud that I didn't catch it this long. I was bragging about it.
But Omicron changed that.
It just shows how contagious this variant is. I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted. I wear a mask at all times at work, and somehow it got me.
He came home from work on a Sunday with a sore throat. He thought it was from yelling names into the crowded waiting room, but when he spiked a fever overnight, he knew it was likely COVID. He tested positive a few days later.
It hit me hard.
Based on the new CDC guidance, he
going room to room. Yeah.
He was able to go back to work this week after a shorter isolation period. It's helping to offset challenging staff shortages.
Staffing is a challenge whenever we have several nurses out with COVID. I mean, we're human and we get sick too, and we are exposed more than a lot of people.
That wasn't bad.
No.
He's urging more people to do their part to lessen the burden on the hospitals.
I felt very sick, in my opinion. I think it could have been a lot worse if I was not vaccinated. So that vaccine and that boost is the way that we can overcome a lot of this.
They say they won't turn anybody away from the ER, but they are urging people to go somewhere else for testing. In Charlotte, Chloe Leshner, WCNC Charlotte.